What books are you reading? Who are your friends? What are they saying to you? What are they doing to you? Yes, are your friends the kind of friends that cheer you on when you've got an idea to move you forward? Do they talk you out of it? Now, if you're anything like me, before I started on this journey of mindset and personal development, my life was quite miserable. I was not happy, I was not fulfilled, I felt stuck and stagnant, but I couldn't put a finger to what was wrong. And although I am a fun-loving person, that was not enough. I still felt like there was something missing. However, when I started to read some books, I realized that I was not growing, and anything that is not growing is actually dying. And some of you might be thinking, that's quite drastic, dying. Yes, if you're not growing, you are actually dying. And since learning and reading all these books that have introduced me to different ways of how I can improve my life, I am aspiring to be more, do more, and I am working to being the person that I need to be. So I would like you to come along with me. Let's learn, grow, and change together. Hello, my name is Trudy and I am a director at True Wealth, and we invest in property. In my video today, I am going to talk to you about the books that changed my life. Yes, the books that changed my life. If you're going to be successful at anything, be it property investment or any other business that you're planning to set up, you need to have the positive mindset. Without the mindset, any strategies don't actually work. Some of you will have heard of it that you need 80% mindset and 20% strategy. And recently I've just finished listening to The Science of Getting Rich, and it actually says you need 95% mindset and 5% strategy. So that's why it's very, very important to read books and keep a positive mindset. Now, the first book that I ever read that changed my life was Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. And this is the best book by far that I've read. It changed so many things in me. It changed my understanding. It changed my perception of things. And I found it thought-provoking. It literally changed my life around. When I finished reading this book, some of you who know me will know that I did not actually go to sleep for 2 weeks because my mind was going. And it's the first time ever in my lifetime when I've done some positive thinking, like really think. I just realized that I could not literally continue the way my life was. When I finished reading this book, I knew that something needed to change. I knew that things can never be the same again. And I knew that I did not want to be in a job where I have to wait until somebody tells me when I can retire. I knew that I did not want to be in a job where I have to ask for permission to go to the toilet. And I know that sounds quite drastic, but some of us do jobs where you can't come off your desk until you ask for permission to go to the toilet. And I knew that I don't want that kind of lifestyle. I wanted to take charge of my life and be in control and live the life that I design, and live life on my terms, not on somebody else's terms. So, and this book did that for me. It literally changed my understanding of so many things, and I love this book. I love this book so much. So I'll just talk to you about some of the things that really stood up for me when I read this book. Like I said, one of those things is it is a very thought-provoking book, and it talks about things like the poor and the middle class work for money, rich people don't work for money. Some of you might be thinking, what does that mean? And I was the same. When I read this book, I thought, what is this guy talking about? The poor work for money, and rich people don't work for money. But I do understand what he means now. Basically, it's about the fact that when we are growing up, we are taught that you need to go to school, you go to university, you get a degree, you come out and you become a doctor or a solicitor or whatever. So that is working for money. That is you working hard for money. However, rich people don't work for money, because what they do, they instead invest in assets that bring them what we call passive income. If you remember, in my first video, I spoke to you about passive income and how property is a good way of giving you passive income. So that is the difference, working for money and not working for money. If I would explain further, it's like, say if I have to trade my time and money to earn £1 million, but there is somebody else there who does not have to trade their time and money, but they're earning £50,000, I think I would choose the person who is not trading their time and money and they're earning the £50,000. And I am not saying that it's bad to have a job. It's not bad to have a job, but however, the job should be about you giving a service, about you adding value, about you doing something that brings you satisfaction, and not about you having to work hard for money. I won't want to be a doctor working 60 hours a week because I have to do that. However, I would like to be a doctor who does maybe 20 hours a week. But when I do those 20 hours a week, it is more efficient, it's more effective, I love what I'm doing, and I am actually making a real change to people's lives. So I think that's what Rich Dad Poor Dad was trying to talk about when he said the middle class and the poor people work for money, but rich people make money work for them. Yeah, it is a thought-provoking book. The other thing that this book did for me, it challenged my understanding of mainstream education. It absolutely challenged my understanding of mainstream education. But then it also changed my ideas. It changed my understanding of mainstream education, and how I view mainstream education is absolutely changed. My views, my ideas, my understanding of what it is completely different. For what I know now, I would honestly say that I would prefer for my children and all the people out there that I care about to know things like communication skills, basic maths, being able to multiply and subtract and do some addition. I would prefer that you've got skills to manage your emotions and your feelings. I would prefer that you've got the ability to manage your money and manage your time well. Know how to market, know some selling skills, some basic accounting skills. So for me, I would much prefer that my children had those skills than go through a system that actually works towards destroying somebody's confidence. And some of you might be thinking, how is that possible? I personally think that mainstream education kills people's confidence, and it kills vision, it kills ambition, because we are measured against this set criteria, and if you don't fit into that criteria, then you are classed as not good enough, and there is always that comparison. And how can you ever be a confident person when you're constantly being compared to other people? And sadly, that's the truth of mainstream education. It's about comparing you to other people who are doing better than you. It's about exams. If you fail those exams, it's almost like that is your life over, but actually that's not the truth. That's not what really happens. And some of you will notice that people who are successful, they've actually not gone through mainstream education. And that's some of the things that this book did for me. It absolutely challenged my understanding, and it changed my understanding of mainstream education. So for my children, if they choose to go to university, yes, I will support them, but it will be to do something that actually they love, something that brings them satisfaction, something that they're doing to serve the world, but not to work hard for money, because we've been taught to work hard for money from the time we are born. We are taught to work hard for money until we die, and that is sad. That's what mainstream education does for us. So the other thing that this book did teach me was, if you think you've got a job and you're secure, you're lying to yourself. In the current climate, as you will all see, so many things are changing, so many things are happening. People are being made redundant, people are losing their jobs. So if you're in a job and you think you're secure, I would like to give you a wake-up call. You are not secure, you are not safe. You need to be looking at something that gives you security. The other thing that this book highlighted for me was the fact that savers are losers. I did talk about that in my first video on the benefits of investing in property as opposed to having your money in a savings account. So if you keep your money in a savings account, you're losing, you're not gaining anything. So please get your money out of a savings account and invest it into something. Buy a house, do something else with your money. The other thing the book taught me was that if you're really going to learn something, you need to have a burning desire, you need to have passion, and you need to have energy. If you're going to learn something that is going to change your life, you need those three elements: burning desire, passion, and energy. It takes energy to learn something. If you don't have that, then you will not be able to learn. One last thing that this book taught me was it actually introduced the idea of personal development to me, because it was the first book that I ever read. It really helped me in learning that I needed to invest in myself. It introduced the idea to me, and I started to read more books. I read the books he recommended, and I started to look out for other books that I could read to improve my life. And that's why my life has forever changed when I read this book, and I would highly recommend it to you, because it changed my life, and I trust that it can change your life too. The other thing that he taught me quite a lot of things, was the difference between a liability and an asset. And believe it or not, I didn't actually know what that means. Some of you may know what it means, but I'm not embarrassed to say that I was ignorant. I didn't know what that meant. So I want to explain to you what that is. A liability is something that takes money out of your pocket. And some of us have so many liabilities. You have a car that you bought on credit. You've got a house that you have to pay a mortgage for. You got all these things. You go on holiday on credit. So all those are liabilities. But an asset is something that puts money in your pocket. So things like a business that is making you money without you having to constantly trade your time for it. You might write a piece of music, and that music keeps making you money. Or you might write a book or a script or a play. For example, Lord Weber, he wrote The Phantom of the Opera, and that show is so old, but it's still making him so much money. So that is passive income, and that is an asset. Although he's had that for years, that is still making him money. So we need to all be looking at acquiring more assets, because without assets, you can never get rich. Without having assets, my friends, you can never get rich, and you can never improve your life. So get rid of those liabilities in your lives. And some of you might even have friends that are liabilities in your lives. Get rid of them and have some assets in your life. The book also highlighted certain things for me, like fear, living in fear. It says that if you live in fear, never able to explore your dreams, that is cruel. And I think that is so true. And it says as well that working hard for money is cruel. And I think, yes, that is so true. Can you imagine working your life so hard and waiting for somebody to tell you when you can retire, or never being able to step out to do the things that you want to do because you're fearful? So I want to encourage all of you, my people out there, all of you, my friends, to take that leap of faith and do the things that you want to do the things that make you happy. Book number 2 that changed my life was The Property Coach. I love this book. I absolutely love this book, and it's written by Aaron Curry, and actually Aaron Curry is my mentor. I did a property course with him, and I couldn't highly recommend him enough. He's such a brilliant guy. You know, if you're looking for mentor, if you're looking for a property course, I would say, you know, check out Aaron Curry's courses. They're absolutely amazing, and he's an amazing guy. So after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, didn't sleep for 2 weeks, I find this book, and when I finished reading this book, I just thought, yes, strategy, done, sorted. So obviously that's when I got into property investment, and property investment is my strategy. This book talks about the benefits of investing in property. It talks about the rules of investing in property, who you need in your power team, and you know, and all the other things that you need to know about property. And I would recommend it, you know, if you're trying to get into property and you don't know where to start, this is a very good start. So yes, book number 2, The Property Coach. And I just want to say something quickly about these books. These 2 books here, I had them on the shelf in my house, but I had never read them. And when I've been reflecting on my journey, I was thinking that actually sometimes the things that need to change our lives, they're not far away, they're not in a distance, they're right next to us. So if you've been looking for a change in your life, maybe look a bit closer to you, even inside yourself, and there you will find the answers. You know, go look on your shelves and see what books you've got out there. You never know, you might have a book on your shelf that might just about change your life. Book number 3 that changed my life is Think Rich to Get Rich: Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. This is another brilliant book that I would highly recommend. Basically, this book introduces concepts, principles and declarations that are supposed to act as catalysts to lead you to success, to lead you to wealth and riches. And the main concept in this book is all about your mindset. As you can see, it's about your mindset towards riches and wealth. Some of us have a very poor mindset towards riches and wealth. So in order to be rich and have the abundant life, you need to have a positive mindset. And the book has concepts like, you know, your income can only grow to the extent that you do, and that is so true. Since learning and reading lots of books, I came up with my own saying, and I just say to myself sometimes that, you know, I can only go as far as my thoughts will take me, and that is so true. You can only go as far as your thoughts will take you. So watch your thoughts, watch what you think about, because you literally become what you think about. The book also talks about things like, what is your money blueprint? What is it that you are comfortable with? What is it that you feel you're worthy? You know, what are your beliefs, your inner beliefs about money? Some people believe they're only worth 20,000 pounds. Some people believe they're worth only 20,000 pounds. Other people believe they're worth 50,000 pounds, while there are people who believe they are worth hundreds of thousands, and others believe they are worth millions. But we also have people who believe they're worth trillions and billions. Which are you? You know, where do you, which category do you fall into? It does talk about Donald Trump in this book. It gives him as an example of an excellent money blueprint. When Donald Trump lost all his money, he didn't carry himself around like the poorest guy ever, or like he was a loser. He still believed himself to be a billionaire, and because he did, he was able to actually make back the billions. And as you all know, Donald Trump is actually a billionaire, and that is all because of what his money blueprint is, what he thinks and he believes he's worth. The book also introduced the idea of my life being my responsibility. Your life is your responsibility. And sometimes, because of how we've been brought up, the things that have happened to our lives, we can think that our lives are somebody else's responsibility. However, the quicker I learned that my life was my own responsibility and I got in the driver's seat of my life started to change in a positive way. And I would say the same to you. Nobody else is responsible for your life. You are responsible for your own life. So you take full responsibility of your life. And when you do, your life will move in the direction that you design for it to move to. The book also debunks our beliefs about money. Some people believe that money is evil, money is not good. It's not good to have too much money. Money is a source of evil, and sometimes some people have really negative views of rich people. But actually, you need to check out your views. Rich people are very kind people. Rich people are very caring people. And if you're looking for kind people, find some rich people, and then you will know that actually rich people are kind people. So it does debunk some of the beliefs we have around rich people and around money. The other thing that this book talks about is don't complain. Stop complaining. Some people, they like to complain. They will literally complain about anything and everything. I don't know if you know some people in your lives that complain. You meet them today and they will complain about something, and then when you meet them in 2 months' time, you'll find they're almost complaining about the same thing, but it's different, same but different. And that is because they're attracting bad things in their lives. They're always complaining. The more you complain, the more miserable your life is going to be. The more you complain, the more negative things you're going to get in your life. So if you're hanging around people who complain, cut them off. And I'm being serious. People complain, they just drain the energy out of me and out of anybody. So as a ground rule for myself, I don't hang around people who complain, especially if they're not willing to change their lives. I don't waste my time. I don't hang around people who complain. So don't complain, because when you complain, you can't find solutions to your life. Don't complain, and don't get used to having complaining as your default position. This book also talks about rich people actually think big. They don't think small, and that is so true. Since I started on this journey, I've not met any rich person who thinks small. They all think big, and that's why they are rich. And it also challenges us to associate with rich and successful people. Because that's how you become rich and successful, because rich and successful people associate with rich and successful people. Poor people associate with negative and unsuccessful people. So you might be thinking, like, where do I find these rich and successful people? I don't have the connections. Join courses, join self-improvement courses, join different courses out there. You'll find rich people, and because they're kind people, they will get alongside you and they will guide you and they will direct you and show you the way, because they're kind people. Go to property networking meetings, and if you still can't find rich people there, read the books, because these books are actually written by very rich people, and they're very successful, and they've mastered life, and they live life abundantly, not just in terms of money, but also in terms of being grateful and having the abundance inside of our lives. So if you don't know any rich people, start with reading books. You will be rubbing your shoulders with rich people when you do that. So the other key concept in this book for me, and that's I saved the best till the last. It talks about being worthy. When I read that in this book, I just thought, like, oh my goodness, it really spoke to my heart, and it touched a lot of things in my life. because sometimes life happens, and because life has happened, we then think that we are not worthy. However, we are all worthy. And T. Harv Eker uses the example of the creator. So when we were created, we didn't, there wasn't a straight line where you start moving forward and one person gets the stamp of you're worthy and another person gets the stamp of you're unworthy. You're worthy, you're unworthy. That's not how we were created. The creator did not intend for any of us to be unworthy. We are all worthy. It's life, it's circumstances, and it's different things that happen that then make us feel unworthy. So all my people out there, all my friends, if you find yourself feeling unworthy, please take it from me today that you are worthy. I am worthy. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of outstanding relationships. I am worthy of riches. I am worthy of money. I am worthy of wealth. I am worthy of health. So I want you to just take that on board and remember that you are worthy because you are. So these are the 3 books that changed my life, and I read them in the same order as I've shared them. I just want to thank you all for tuning in. I know it's coming up to the end of the year and it's the holiday season. I just want to take this time to wish you all a wonderful time with your families as we draw to the end of the year. I just want to thank everybody who has tuned in, everybody who has watched my videos, everybody who has encouraged me, everybody who has shared suggestions with me, recommendations. I just want to thank everybody who has just been there for me, and you know yourselves, those of you who pushed me to get this done. I just want to say thank you very much, and yeah, thank you for being part of my team, and thank you for being my good friends and for encouraging me to move myself forward. I'll be coming back in the new year with part 2 because this was only part 1. There are more books that changed my life, so I'll be coming back to share that with you. But for now, thank you everybody for tuning in. Let's continue to learn, grow and change together. Thank you very much.